Welcome to the machine. Where have you been? It's alright, we know where you've been. You've been in the pipeline, fitting in time. Provided with toys, scouted for boys. You bought a guitar to punish your mom. You didn't like school, and you know you're nobody's fool. So welcome.
Let me just reel this in literally. Just reel it in. Where we're at now is that we see an entire mainframe. We see a Trojan horse has entered, which is the TV. And as I said, and what I was getting to, I'm glad I caught my train of thought. Because most people are not learned, because even if they did go to school, they didn't learn what they were actually going to be taught because of this system that was put in play. Let me finish that too, about the system that has been put in play. It's grand stories of truth. So in your school then, because of the communicative component is one of confusion, this means that you, as you move through life, you move through with this dualism and you remain trapped in that stasis and your current is locked up. But see, in their schools, and they kind of jokingly pun, they do. Instead of thinking, they do. That was John Dewey's thing. He was a prodigy, a Marxist prodigy. You know, cold, vast intellects. I seen the superhuman. He was cool, cruel, and intrepid. You know, thus where these kind of statements come from men who are unlocking their mind in different ways or supping with certain kind of beings, some from the if world. And then coming with this mad genius with their fat ass heads like Fidel. You know, looking like they're possessed with the eyes all whitened out like York. Can't handle none of the current or the power. Weak Jed broke, but the Jinn is still active, ragging down the chakras and grinding out the gears as the brakes are no longer functioning on the soul, and it's train wrecking as it's crashing into newborn babies and ancient mothers who are all just hoping to find a ship and cover as we weather this cosmic storm, cruising through a broke down planet, looking to get the grids back online. Something so thick that when you enter it, you don't even know when you're coming out. These cats like big booties. So, what you should know now is that you've been sent to a school, and that's why you didn't like it so much, that didn't teach you how to really function around others. So even in the conscious community, or with love and with balance, this is why there's so many conflicts, because it doesn't stop. It goes wherever you go, unless you choose to be mindful about not spreading that virus. So I wanted to also mention that now those arts that train you about the laws of light, now they teach that in their schools. They teach about these magnetic attractions and these different elements, the silver nitrates, the silver salts. You know, they teach about all of the Arm& Hammers, you know, the acids and the alkalines, everything that is necessary to function on the dimension. They have their own adrenochromes, which is, you know, a degraded state of what happens with the pineal gland, you know, even synthetic fluids that geek them all up and turn their stuff on for a few hours. You see what I mean? This is what we're dealing with as the vault of the great Gaia is being open. Her womb is open as she's revealing her secrets, but not willingly. Her veil is being ripped. She's being raped. As I told you, these rappers, they're raptors. We know you from Kemet. When dark beings die, they become raptors. They become birds of prey. They knew phonetics, Phoenicians. It was a language introduced after the ancient tongue. It connects to the English language. They were seafarers. They sold everybody out. They used all of the passions of the powers to make man fall short. Alcohols. The alcohol is one of the ones you can't even remember. The age was so deep. You still even have your uncles in alcoholic stupors on the astral planes. As we go through this process of realizing, can we handle these powers and these degrees? Are we going to tap into free energy though, which is love? Now, what's most interesting is that once you get through this and you realize what this is talking about, you realize that there was this art, and I'm going to be the glorious man to explain it to you, especially to you sisters out there who still are clueless about the divine feminine, other than what, you know, you're getting from somebody else sometimes. You know, and that's just a phenomenon that's happening. This is the most secret knowledge. Isis said, nobody lifted my veil. So this means that this kind of has the effect of that it was so secret that nobody knew about it kind of anyway. So then once it got hidden, you see, like women were actually initiated into this from the time that they were virgins. And then everything was so symbolic about the process that it actually equated to her understanding womanhood and how she needed to protect herself from beings that were always trying to basically get inside of her. So that way they could actually lead other men astray, and women too. And that's how ifs work, because they don't care if you're male or female or whatever. They will interlope with you. They interlace over your body like a gelatinous film, just like the ones we were talking about earlier, and then they operate from there. There are many of them. They are social beings, and while there are some things that are like they have that are like us, they are not like us. They have things that they do that would just be abhorred in our realm. And that's why there was always this space of disconnect, especially from certain ones, until we got to the stage of actually becoming magus, being able to actually govern ourselves properly outside of the protective field, so that way we don't run into negative encounters with basically Jabba the Hutt and them on the Astro, okay? And what they understood, and they later took that same knowledge and started evoking endlessly. Now, the evoking is almost like on autopilot, literally. That's some of the songs that you hear coming out, they're evoking entities. It's like a negatron. It just keeps bringing more and more negative dark beings into the dimension, and there's basically nothing there's few things beyond, balanced humans that actually is counteracting that force. So, to me, that's why there's a need for one, amplification, just getting something that amplifies the power of those already online and harmonic, and then also replication, something that continues to push out balanced vibrations continuously, just to counteract that vast chasm that is open. So now the conclusion here is, because you've learned about everything now, you know there's entities. Everything is not a damn computer. Don't get lost in that whole fake framework. Nature is real. So to understand her story, or even beyond, it's not even just Gaia. Every single limitation you have, break through. It's not just Gaia. There are 7 women, 7 sisters. That's where all of that 7 stuff comes from. Those are 7 different rooms, 7 spectrums of color, horns, to where when something comes out of those tubes, after being impregnated from a connection between Orion, who's a giant male, just an electron gun, and then spewing into these prisms, and they're doing it on a big level. And then these women in the Tsar cult, they were emulating what they learned from the stars.